So new tool that some of you probably don't know about. This is a card scraper, and I think after you use one, you're probably going to want one. It's just a piece of mild steel. You can see why it's called a card scraper, because it looks like a card. Relatively easy to sharpen. You just, every once in a while you'll have to true up the edge with a smooth file. So you'll remove, there's a burr, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But every once in a while you'll have to remove that burr completely and true up this edge. And then you need a burnisher. In a pinch you might be able to use a screwdriver, but this is actually a hardened steel rod. Sometimes they make them out of carbide even, but this is what, 15 bucks maybe? And this is a little bit more, it's probably 25, but you only need one of these. So a burr is just a little hook, and you're just going to want to feel for that. If you don't feel it, if your thumb slides straight off, it's not really going to work. That little burr hook is the key to making the scraper work. So if you don't feel it, there's just 2 steps. You just hold this down, or you could clamp it down. You could use a vise or something. The first thing you're going to want to do is draw out a little bit of the steel. And it's just about a 5-degree angle. And you just a couple of times. And then I can feel that burr is gone. It was there. And then you have to turn it. We've kind of just squished out a little tiny bit of metal. I mean, this is, you can't really see it. It's more of a feel thing. You probably need magnification to see it. And so I've kind of pushed a little bit of steel that way. Now I need to turn that burr. And so again, it's roughly like 5 to 7 degrees, and then you just feel for it. And you don't need a huge burr. And that's just something you'll learn from experience. The more you do it, the better you'll get. And then we need to get rid of all this glue, and we also want to make the fingerboard flush to the side of the neck. Push your thumbs in the back and kind of flex it a little bit. It's easier to control. And it just, look, I mean, it's awesome. For cleaning that epoxy off the fretboard, this worked brilliantly. Sandpaper just clogs up really fast with epoxy, and this just shaved it off. It's really something. It's such a cheap tool that works so well. And then
you always push against, you push, you never pull?
Yeah, you probably could.
Yeah,
but
I pull.
Do you?
Push,
Yeah. For me, I'd like having my thumbs behind, but yeah, you could pull this way. Yeah.
One thing when you're doing the side where the glue is, make sure you're leaning away from the fretboard so you don't rip out a fret slot.
Oh, good. So this is something we learned from John Page. John Page was one of the co-founders of the Fender Custom Shop, and he's a highly respected electric guitar luthier. And he said that this transition here that we CNC at Sinclair Community College, it's a little abrupt and a little uncomfortable. And so he advised us and actually gave Nancy this pattern last summer at the Grants Pass workshop. So this is from the man himself, so we are going to respect that. And you're just going to try to blend in
You've done a good job sharpening that thing. You're going up on that grain there.
Yep.
Easy to rip.
Right. Try pulling. I probably have pulled before, so this would be more of a. Just take your time and kind of finesse that in, okay? And just work your way towards that line. I wouldn't remove anything from this profile because that's pretty close to where you want it. So kind of just focus on that transition. And then you'll clean that up with sandpaper too, lightly, and then
You can soften that if you
Yeah.
want. That's kind of optional.
Yeah,
Soften that.
if you don't like that edge, just hit that. It's all about feel, and then as you're doing this, just feel it as you go and check it, and imagine the nut's going to be there, and put your hand up there, and yeah, just use your hands. Use your hands at least as much as your eyes in this business. So we've got some glue there. So that'll come off in no time. And then any CNC machining marks, you want to take care of those too.
If you're getting those curly cues, it's a nice sharp scraper.
Curling ribbon.
When you're scraping the sides along here, be careful that you're not changing the size of the heel, right? Because you've already got that fitted perfectly to the body, so we don't want to change that dimension. So just scrape down until you're just touching that, get the glue out of there, but just touching that, but don't remove any material from this heel right here.